This episode is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the #1 seller of games and gaming accessories. And GatheringMagic.com, the #1 resource for Magic the Gathering news and articles.
Hey there everybody, I'm with the Chewie and this here is
Hey, what did I tell you? Stop sounding like Strong Bad. I'm Chewie from Baneful Omen, and this is my Kaervek the Merciless deck. So like that handsome devil Chewie just said, this is my Kaervek the Merciless deck. Now let me give you a bit of background before I go into the deck itself to tell you why I built it. So Kaervek hurts everyone for doing stuff, right? Right. Now, since my play group, the Mana Pool co-hosts, and anyone else that happens to play with us, we don't really do the infinite combos or the ha! I win deck. Right, Chewie? He's confused. He's a little dumb. Since we don't do that, our games, we like to win interactively with things that feel honest and fair, you know. So our games sometimes tend to get a little bogged down. But instead of building a group hug deck to help everyone out, I built the Kaervek deck to hurt everyone faster and make the game go faster. I might not win, but the game is gonna end not long after I get knocked out. Because whether you know it or not, as soon as I drop this deck, you're on a clock. And that's awesome. So, Kaervek the Merciless, he's great. Give me that. Swamps. I have 12 swamps. Yep, those are all swamps. Whoop. I have a Leechridden Swamp, another way to ping all my opponents at the same time. Because chances are I'll have 2 black permanents and a swamp in this thing open. You know, why not? Barren Moor and Polluted Mire, just in case I need to cycle and draw a card. Mountains. I have 6 mountains. Yeah, right? They're all mountains. Yeah, those are all mountains. I have a little Chewie and a zombie, but they're not in the deck. Forgotten Cave and Smoldering Crater for the purposes of, well, cycling again. And a Spinerock Knoll because really, it can't be that hard to deal 7 damage with this deck and get something for free, you know? Now, dual lands. Dragonskull Summit, Urborg Volcano, Akoum Refuge, Life Gain, Tainted Peak, Blood Crypt, Lavaclaw Reaches, Lavaclaw, it's an extra dude, and it's got fire breathing, you know, just in case. Shadowblood Ridge, Rakdos Carnarium, Old School Graven Cairns, Future Sight. It's bad that Future Sight is old school. God, I'm old. And a Strip Mine, just in case. And a Temple of False God, because duh, it's Temple of False God. Recent edition. And there is a card drawing sub-theme in the deck that we'll get to later, but Mikakoro is in here to complement that perfectly. Now, other mana. We've got Pristine Talisman, gain some life back. Soul Ring, because it's Soul Ring, and I happen to have one. I'm not entirely sure if the pain is worth it for the Talisman of Indulgence, because you'll notice that I didn't have the black-red pain land. What is that? Sulfur Springs in here. That's what came out for the Temple of the False God. Whoop. And a Rakdos Signet. Once again, more artifact mana. Not that many in this deck. Now, Crystal Ball lets me scry. Well, why would I want to scry? Well, because I got Baneful Omen. Baneful Omen says, at the end of my turn, essentially, I reveal the top card of my library, and all my opponents lose life equal to that card's converted mana cost. I wonder what the top card of my library is. Combo. So I got the Baneful Omen. Haunted Crossroads can put one of my more expensive creatures from my graveyard back on top of my library when that triggers. That's awesome. And Wound Reflection is just great for this sort of deck that's trying to deal lots of damage, because it doubles the amount of life they lost. And it's at the end of each turn. Each opponent loses life. So it hurts. It works when my opponents attack other opponents and stuff like that. It's just great. Now, Polluted Bonds. Everyone's going to play land, so I'm going to capitalize on it. Just hurting people constantly. Isolation Cell is either going to slow my opponents down by 2 mana, or it's going to deal them some damage. Alright. Liability, again. Constantly dealing damage to someone. This one is when a card goes into a graveyard from the battlefield. They lose 1 life. Spell Shock, whenever someone plays a spell, They get shocked. Waynes. Get it? Spell shock? Okay. Lightning Reaver. Lightning Reaver is just awesome. So he's got fear and haste, so I can drop him and go, huh, and swing at someone that can't block him. And when he deals combat damage to a player, he gets a charge counter. And then at the end of my turn, he hits each opponent equal to the number of charge counters on him. And that's really sweet. Or he draws a removal spell, either way. Patron of the Zumi. When something goes to the graveyard from the battlefield, they lose a life. Pestilence, because if you're going to be hurting everybody all the time, why not play Pestilence? And if you're going to be playing Pestilence, why not play the red Pestilence, Pyrrhemia? And if you're going to play Pestilence and the red Pestilence, Pyrrhemia, you should probably play Thrashing Wumpus. Wumpus. And if you're going to play that, why not play Pestilence Demon? Because not only does it Pestilence, look, it says it in the name, right? He's really no help whatsoever. But he's also a really big beater in case you want to really big beat somebody. In the air, a big flying beat stick that's got the plague and looks like Satan. Blech. Syphon Soul! Syphon Soul! Multiplayer classic. 2 damage to everybody. I gain that much life. Well, to everybody else, rather. There we have Blood Tithe, Syphon Soul's bigger, older brother. 3 damage to everybody. And then there's Exsanguinate, which is Syphon Soul's, I don't know, crazy, superpowered... Hey, zombie, you're in the way. Crazy, superpowered uncle or something. I don't know. X damage. It's great in multiplayer. Completely ridiculous. And if you're going to Syphon Soul once, why not Syphon Soul all the time with a wonderful Urborg Syphon-Mage? Brr. And if you're going to Syphon Soul once, why not do a half a Syphon Soul every turn? See what I mean? Constantly hurting people, I'm speeding this game up, and it gains me back a little bit of life, of course. And then I can Spiteflame Witch just to make everyone lose life just indiscriminately. Even me, screw it, I don't care. Buh. Now we have Caustic Hound. Caustic Hound is a 4/4 for 6, and when he dies, everyone loses 4 life. Right? Right, zombie. Really, dude. Everyone loses 4 life. Now we have Caustic Hound's poor, stupid younger brother. He just doesn't get it. He's a 3/3 for 6, and what are you nodding at? And when he dies, everyone loses 3 life. So he's worse. So we've got bad, way bad, not so bad, bad, or just bad and worse. Bad, worse, bad, worse. You see what I did there? But either way, I want them to die. And then there's Netherborn Phalanx. Now, the Netherborn Phalanx serves two purposes. One, he can make people lose life equal to the number of creatures they control. That's great. Or he can tutor up something that costs 6. Most notably, the Wound Reflection. Speed the game up. Give me that. Howling Banshee. Everyone lose 3, and it's a flyer. Yes. Now, Howling Banshee, Howling Mine. I didn't even plan that. Note the well-loved, increased Howling Mine. Yeah, see? That's wonderful. The Howling Mine is where the card draw sub-theme starts. So you'll see the purpose in just a minute. So we got Howling Mine, Font of Mythos, which is Howling Mines 3 and 4 at the same time. Or 2 and 3, I guess. I can math. I don't have any more Temple Bells, or there'd be one of those in here. Saison. Now, my black suicide, homicide, whatever you want to call it, multiplayer, life gain, kill everyone deck that I'm going to write a 60-card challenge on, themanapool.com. Shameless plug. He was in that deck, but he fits so much better in this deck that I stole him. I told myself I would never steal a card from another deck for an EDH deck, but it's just too perfect to fit. Trust me on this. And he's a 6/5, nothing to laugh at. So this is where people start to go, oh, really? Come on. Yep, it's a Teferi's Puzzle Box, and that's awesome. Yeah, you'll see, of course. If you're playing a Teferi's Puzzle Box, chances are you're probably playing a Psychosis Crawler. So whenever I draw a card, each opponent loses a life, and I'm drawing lots of cards with the puzzle box. Kaervek Parasite. Whenever an opponent draws a card, and I control a red permanent, not a problem, with all the red enchantments and whatnot, then this deals 1 damage to that person. Teferi's Puzzle Box, take lots of damage, of course. And Underworld Dreams, of course, goes with the Teferi's Puzzle Box, like peanut butter and jelly. Although peanut butter gives me heartburn, so let's say like ham and cheese. Yeah, let's go with ham and cheese. Meat eater. Oh, check it out. Brian and I won this at a Two-Headed Giant tournament because Two-Headed Giant was our thing back in the day. See that? Oh, yeah. But anyway. Ooh, Brian, one of my Mana Pool co-hosts, actually, for F&M way back in the day when both of these were in Standard, that tells you how old that is, he would run the Underworld Dreams to Fairies Puzzle Box deck. And he wrecked quite a few people because they didn't see it coming. Because once they're on the board, what do? You cry, that's what you do. Or you kill him faster, which is doubtful. Oh look, Iron Maiden! Run to the hills and all that. But what this is a black vise for everybody, so with all this card draw, hopefully they've got lots of cards in hand, so they can have lots of cards in hand and take lots of damage. Whoop. And then there's a Viseling, which is Iron Maiden on legs. Dude, why is there no Metallica on legs? That would be sweet. Is there a Corn on legs? Whoa. Godsmack on legs. That would be anyway. I'm pretty sure there is a Godsmack on legs, but I can't think of it. Anyway, Viseling. Hurts everybody again. Skull Cage. If I take any of this sub-theme out, it's going to be the Skull Cage. I'm not sure if I like it or not. What are you nodding at? But, yeah. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, unless they have exactly 3 or 4 cards in hand, they take 2. Again, I don't know. And Vicious Shadows, anyone who's played any EDH has probably run into this, because it's wrong. It's just wrong. Whenever any creature dies, I can have Vicious Shadows deal damage to target player equal to the number of cards in their hand. So, you know, find some way to get rid of my Abyssal Gatekeeper, which I don't think we've seen yet. Hey, everyone sacrifices a creature. Oh, you've got 7 cards in hand. You take 7, 3 times, you're dead. Ha ha ha, you know. That's the point. It's dirty. Oh look, Phyrexian Arena, because if I'm going to be drawing cards, why not play Phyrexian Arena? And Vincer's Journal. I have no maximum hand size, and I get some life back, which is important in this deck, in case you can't tell. Massacre Worm, creature control section now. Massacre Worm wipes out all the little dudes, causes my opponents to lose life when their creatures die. He's a 6/5, he's a floor wax, he's a dessert topping. Oh, jam, I got worms! Sounds like a personal problem. What are you nodding at? Oh look, Magma Phoenix. He's nodding again. I can hit everyone for some damage, get him back, do it again, 3/3 flyer. Everyone knows Magma Phoenix. Breath of Daragaz either pings everything or deals 4 damage to everything on the ground and players. Little 4-point Earthquake is always good. Reaver Demon! Reaver Demon can blow up everything that's not black and not artifact, which doesn't really bother me, but hopefully it'll hurt my opponents. And he's a 6/6 in the air. Beat stick, beat stick. Dread Cacodemon says blow up everything that's not mine, and then tap everything that is mine, and he's a giant 8/8 dude. Yeah, he's a big dude. Damnation. No comment necessary. That was a comment. Black Sun Zenith, removable, reusable, removal. Say that 18 times fast, I dare you. I did it again. Reusable, mass removal, Blaines. And, oh, he's so cute, look at him. And yeah, shuffles back in, etc., etc., draw it again later. Oh look, Decree of Pain. That is great mass removal, and I get to draw lots of cards, or I can just cycle it to do an infest. Yeah, seems good. Oh, I hate it when people say that. That's a card. Blasphemous Act. So I used to have... Stand up, zombie, your foot's in the way. I used to have Chain Reaction in the deck, and that cost 4, and did X damage to each creature, where X is the number of creatures in play. For this to cost 4, there would have to be 5 creatures in play. Right? Right. So with 5 creatures in play, this deals 13 damage to each creature. Chain Reaction with 5 creatures in play deals 5 damage to each creature. So, this is just better in almost every respect. There were several times with the Chain Reaction where it would kill everything except for that big thing over there, like a Kozilek or something, and that would make me not cast it, and that's bad. So, Blasphemous Act, much better. There's the Abyssal Gatekeeper. It amazes me how the Abyssal Gatekeeper keeps my fellow dorks from attacking. I'm like, well, I don't want to attack him. He'll just block. I'll have to sacrifice one of my guys. So that's great. What's that called? A rattlesnake, I think was the word? Yeah. That's one of those Anthony Alongi old school multiplayer animal type cards. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to Daily MTG and read that, because it's awesome. Siphon Flesh, sacrifice a creature, I get a bunch of zombies. Blaines. Yay, Blaines. Dread, if you're going to hit me, then it's going to die. And he's a 6/6 with fear, of course, always good. Sheoldred is a 6/6 with Swamp Walk, but that's not what's important. What's important is she gets me dudes back, and she hurts you with your dudes, and your dudes die, and the Vicious Shadows triggers, and then you die, and life is good. Syphon Mine admittedly doesn't work so well with the everyone draw some cards sub-theme, although it does wonders with the not the Underworld Dreams, the Psychosis Crawler. Because everyone discards a card, I draw that many. Word. It's just so good that I had to put it in. Plus, now I've got all of the Syphon whatever cards in here, you know? Balthor gets all my dudes back that are in the graveyard, and maybe some of their dudes, but I don't care about their dudes, because they're just going to die. Not their dudes, they're the player. Plus, he's a zombie dwarf legend. Come on now. Come on now. Kaboom! Kaboom is an old favorite. I love Kaboom. Kaboom, right? There you go. Kaboom was in my old Beast deck when everything had a high casting cost. It was miserable. But I had to throw it in here for nostalgia purposes, because if you nostalgia, you lose. And I lost. So what it does is I can reveal cards from the top of my library till I hit a non-land, and then target player takes damage equal to that card's converted mana cost. But I can do it for any number of players or opponents, any number of players, yeah. So usually I'll go like you, and you, and you in that order, and then you take 4, and you take 7, and you take 2, you lucked out. You know, something like that. It's so much fun, very nostalgic, I love it. Personal preference, really. Everyone's like, oh, what'd you put that in for? Shut up. It's great. It's great. Oh look, Breath of Malfagor. Because if you're gonna Lava Axe somebody, why not Lava Axe at instant speed to everybody? Spread the love. Everyone loves it. Now, War Elemental is a neat thing. Whenever, what does he say exactly? Whenever damage is dealt to an opponent, he gets that many +1/+1 counters. But when he comes into play, if an opponent was not dealt damage this turn, you have to sacrifice him. And there's a neat trick that some people may or may not know. You can play him, put that trigger on the stack, and then hurt someone at instant speed somehow, so that he will stay on the battlefield and he'll get the counters for that, rather than playing something ahead of him or damaging people ahead of him and then playing him. You're losing counters. I don't have that much instant speed removal in here, so that's just a little tip for anyone that wants to use him. Corey used to use him in a Chuck deck. He'd get him up to like a 25, and then throw him at someone's head, and it was terrible. Let's get these out of the way. Urbrask the Hidden is just there again to slow people down, give my dudes haste, a little bit of whatever, just torment the opponents a little bit. Deathbringer Thoktar, when something dies, he gets a +1/+1 counter, and he can remove +1/+1 counters to ping things. If I could give him Death Touch easily and still be on theme, I would, because then he's just a machine gun, but I didn't. Wayne's. And yes, he's a zombie. Good little dude. Give me that. Kazul, Tyrants of the Cliffs. Oh, jam, what a bad card. No, he's great. Shut up. Okay, this is another card that keeps people from attacking me, really, because they don't want to give me 3/3s. Or they don't want to pay for 3/3s, so they'll just go hit somebody else. Like this. See? Whoop. And then, with all of the creature destruction and all that in the deck, I've got the Mortivore. The Mortivore is one of my favoriteest cards ever, just because it's so big all the time with everyone's graveyard for multiplayer, and it regenerates, and that's great. So, that is my Kaervek the Merciless deck. Look at him being all merciless. Get off of the zombie! So be sure to check us out over on the Mana Pool, and yeah. Thank you all very much for watching CMDR decks. And, go play some Magic. And subscribe and favorite.